Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to another match analysis video from me, Jim Davis. How's it going? I played at a big event this weekend. It was the DreamHack Beyond Arena Tournament put on by DreamHack. Thank you for the invite, DreamHack. Freaking awesome. I played in the real DreamHack, like in person in Anaheim, right before COVID hit. Came in 13th in that one. And it was an awesome event. The coverage was insane, super cool. And DreamHack Beyond's like their online version of DreamHack, which is, you know, what we have right now. And it was a cash tournament, $2,500 prize pool, $1,000 to first place. It was standard. I played Temur Lukka, listed Ali Warfield 160 in a SG with. And we're gonna go over two matches today from that tournament. If you've never seen one of these before, basically, I'm gonna play the matches at 1.5x speed, pausing when necessary, to go over all my decisions during the match. And made some good plays, made some bad plays. With you know, both these matches I've chosen were pretty interesting, and we're gonna go over them and just do it. So first match is gonna be round 3 against Hog Pog, and Hog Pog she has just been like, she had lost a match in like 4 months. She won the VML. She came in second in an open, won the VML one shot, just like non-stop winning. And this was a closed decklist event, unlike most of the online events. This was a closed decklist event, so I had no idea what Hog Pog was playing. Put this here, I guess. So I am playing, of course, as you can see, Temur Lukka. Not the best opening hand here with double Koma, and does have Bonecrusher and Lovestruck Beast, which are mana curves in and of themselves, but realistically, you just can't keep this hand. I would say that Koma counts as about a half a card, so it is somewhat castable. So this is like a 5.5 card hand. So your average 6 should be better than this. Hog Pog also mulligan too. So I think for a bit, but I think this is a pretty clear mulligan. Even though it looks like you do have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 4-drop in theory. Lovestruck Beast and Bonecrusher Giant are great, but don't need to push them that hard. So go for the mulligan. Mulligan into obviously a 1-lander, of course. Nice discipline mulligan gem. So go to 5. And Innkeeper Visionary, Bonecrusher Smashing, pretty reasonable. Dump the Visionary and dump the Borrower here too. It's pretty hard to actually cast. So hand is fine for a 5-card hand. We've got Innkeeper, Bonecrusher, and 3 lands. So really, you know, not the best start, but definitely reasonable. Again, we don't know what Hog Pog is playing, so kind of tough because, you know, we're not sure if Bonecrusher is good, so on and so forth. But so here we are on the draw, Needleverge Pathway. So that could be like an aggressive deck, could be just got mutate, could be maybe control deck, something like that, but no Yorion. So I set up my Shatterskull Smashing past here and not play Innkeeper. It's very likely the red deck has Bonecrusher Giant. Then I want to save Innkeeper until turn 4 if possible. Again, not playing Innkeeper here. Goal is to end step Stomp and just cast Bonecrusher as a threat. We see Iteration on turn 3. This means it's probably mutate with a Jeskai lands as well, which is not good because the mutate deck is pretty powerful and needs to be pressured. And we don't have much pressure here, so end step Stomp, make a blue. And I set a fire with the Visionary here, just draw a card as well. Goal being we can possibly Innkeeper and Bonecrusher next turn. Prismari Man kills it. That's fine, makes treasure. So it's untap. We get to go Innkeeper into Bonecrusher here, which is pretty good, honestly, pretty good. And we go double blue, I believe, on the land, which you have the ability to Borrower. Lord Draken.
Let's G.
55-month resub. Thanks so much. So, Innkeeper Bonecrusher. So far, this game's gone pretty well for us, honestly. I mean, obviously our turn 2 is not ideal, but of course, turn 5 Goldspan Dragon is really bad. We lack an answer to that card, and treasures are already here. It is turn 5, and here's a Vadrock, and this is just the whole you know, yada mutate. I guess that just like tilts me irrationally. I don't know why. It's like really annoying. But yeah, so Goldspan Dragon, flashback Prismari command, kill my Innkeeper, and now we're just dead, basically. We can bounce the Goldspan Dragon with the Brazen Borrower, but there's already so many treasures available that like there isn't really a path to victory in this game. Go for an attack. I'm not even sure what we do here. You probably have to bounce Goldspan Dragon, but with 3 treasures available, they can recast Goldspan Dragon and still have 6 mana available, if not 8. So I think that's not the best thing to do here is just put pressure on the board and hope their hand sucks. We can't deny them the mana from Goldspan Dragon, so our best course to win, I think, is just to apply pressure to the board and just hope that they have bricks in their hand. Spoiler alert, they don't have bricks, and they're going to go off here and do the whole mutate thing. If you haven't seen this, you're watching it now, I guess. Ha. You mutate, and it's a Vadrock on there. Every time you target the Goldspan Dragon, you get mana. Every time you mutate, you get cards back, and yada yada yada. And yeah, not too fun. Not too fun. So you can see I'm not very happy. Not very fun. So keeps going. Lord Rockus or whatever. Brings back 2 spells. Bring back another spell. Keep targeting dragon. Keep making mana. This deck is just obnoxious to me. I don't know why. Prismari command, and then they can just keep recasting burn spells on me through each iteration of the loop. The last part of the loop is an unsubstantiate, which they have as well, which bounces the dragon, bounces all the mutate things. They can replay the whole stack. So replay Goldspan, replay Lord Rockus, replay Vadrock, keep making mana from the Goldspan Dragon. It's kind of weird because like Goldspan Dragon is just kind of a good card, but it is also a mana engine too. So go to sideboarding. And realistically, I don't think that our Lukka Koma plan is good against them. We can't really, I think we need to be as aggressive as possible. So we want to cut all the clunky stuff. And the cool thing about Allie's deck here is that she has 4 Goldspan Dragon on the board. So the deck can kind of board into a bit of like an Is It Dragonsy deck, where we board a bunch of counter spells, interaction. We board out Lukka Koma, just bring in the Goldspan Dragons, and just like be sort of this like tempo deck where we can play Dragon, have Stroke up or Negate up or whatever. So bring in the Dragons. Bring in the Test of Talents, the Mystical Disputes. Shave on Visionaries, because without Lukka, Visionary is not nearly as good. Visionary also dies to Stomp and everything else. I'm sure they're playing Stomp, actually, but dies to everything, basically. But now we have 3 Redcap Melee. The big thing here is that now we actually have answers to Goldspan Dragon. Because if you can answer Goldspan Dragon, they are, their deck functions much, much worse. So now we have 3 Redcap Melee, so 1 mana instant and answers it. Name, resub, thanks so much.
Mo Monday Gym app.
Yes, Mog Mondays after the match review. After the match review. So, sideboard into kind of a tempo deck. I decided to keep in the Akroan Wars, I think, because they do answer dragon. So, trying to keep as many dragons as possible. Sorry, as many answers to dragon as possible. So, on the play, game 2. And our opening hand is Lovestruck, Goldspan, Akroan War, a couple lands. Mana's very good. We can keep this. We can keep this. So, it's not great. As an answer dragon, though, has our own dragon and a decent curve. So, fire up the princess here, play another tap land. Draw Brazen Borrower, doesn't do bad either. We see a Maze Mind Tome, which is pretty interesting. And an Innkeeper. So now we draw an Innkeeper. Now we kind of want to play Innkeeper with Lovestruck Beast. But at the same time, we also want to apply pressure, too. So I'm pretty sure we want to just cast Lovestruck Beast here and just get in. We're losing the card off Innkeeper, but I think it's totally fine. Play it on blue for Borrower. Just cast Lovestruck Beast. It's important to recognize what kind of matchup it is. So in some matchups, you want to make sure you get a card off Innkeeper every time, because they're grindy matchups. This is not that. This is if they get to turn 6 or 7, they're going to crush us kind of matchup. So get Lovestruck Beast in play, get the 1-1 in play. Now I get to play Innkeeper pre-combat, so they can't just Spikefield Hazard my 1-1. I can still get it for 5. Now we have Mystical Dispute up as well as Brazen Borrower. So we're kind of like, as you can see, playing this sort of flash game. We've altered our perception of how we're going to play the game. Prismari Command, pretty easy dispute, I think. Just keep them off Treasure and then keep them off my Innkeeper. We get to attack, and then we also get to... now, because we have their counter spells up, and because they can't play Goldspan Dragon this turn, Brazen Borrowing to bounce the Maze Mind Tome is pretty sweet, because we're playing in like a tempo game here. So they're already at 13. We already have the board pretty well. Anytime they want to recast the Maze Mind Tome, it's a pretty big cost as far as tempo goes. So we're trying to win this game. We draw a land. We have Goldspan Dragon. We have Borrower available too. We have 7 power in play. So draw another Borrower. Pretty sweet. Now we can just get in here. Get in for 7. Successful attack. Opponent is 6, which is great. And now I have some options. So didn't draw land for Goldspan Dragon, of course. Brazen Borrower to bounce Maze Mind Tome is a little less exciting. I believe here I'm looking up the deck list. But I think the best play here, I think I'm checking to see if these decks usually play Master Removal in their sideboard. This is not an open deck list tournament. They don't. So just fire up the Borrower here. Draw a card, hoping to draw a land. They dispute the Borrower, which is totally fine. We draw. It's not a land, but it's a melee, which is like the next best thing. Because now we have an answer to Goldspan Dragon. So they're at 6. We have 7 power in play. And we can beat a dragon, which is the most important part. So, a Borrower, a melee, have a lot of power in play. Feeling pretty good here. They hardcast a Lord Rockus, which is a desperation move. It doesn't actually do much if they hardcast it. Just looking to hopefully not die. They Spikefield Hazard the Innkeeper, which is fine. And we get to just melee the lore thing. And the only real problem here is if they have another Spikefield Hazard to kill my 1/1, and they don't. So, pretty good game. Kind of went to plan for the most part. We adjusted our roll because our primary plan's not good against them, and it worked out. You know, counterspell here, bounce spell there, and kind of tempoed them out. So going into game 3, now we are on the draw, of course, which is a little harder. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is my match review from my my DreamHack tournament from yesterday. Mog Monday is to follow, and then as much bronze to mythic as I could possibly muster to follow that. This is round 3 of a tournament. We were 2-0 against Hog Pog going into game 3. And our opening hand is 4 lands, double Bonecrusher, Goldspan Dragon. Now, this looks like a fine hand in a vacuum. In a game 1 vacuum, you can see how pondery I am about this. I think in a game 1 scenario against an unknown deck, this is a snap keep. Just a snap keep. However, this is not a matchup that's in the dark. This is a matchup where we need to get off the ground quickly and be aggressive. The reality of this hand is that we are on the draw, and our hand is a 3-mana 4/3, a 3-mana 4/3, and a 5-mana dragon with 0 interaction points and 0 1 or 2 drops. So, not happy with this hand at all. Tank for a bit. Opponent's already mulliganed, but I'm not going to keep this hand. Mulligan into Dispute, Bonecrusher. This hand's much better. So we still have a 4/3, whatever, but now we have some interaction too. So we discard a land. Now we have some disputes. We have Bonecrusher. We have interaction, which is very, very important. So I think that was a very disciplined mulligan. Not to toot my own horn or nothing, but pretty happy with that. So they have turn 2 Maze Mind Tome. We draw a Stroke. So kind of want to set up Stomp into Bonecrusher, but we can't do that because of the 2 tap lands. So play tap lands. There you go. Hog Pog scries end step, and then draws main phase, and then misses a land drop. So that's pretty huge. We get to play Bonecrusher Giant. Now, as you can see, we have this sort of like tempo, you know, sort of game plan here. We have Dispute, Stroke. We have a threat in play. And again, the most important thing that people don't realize is just getting in play. Recognizing the matchups where you need to be on the board. So get an island here, because I want to have multiple blue mana for multiple disputes. And we're just going to go for Innkeeper Bonecrusher here. They definitely have interactive spells in their hand, but very unlikely they're playing a dragon next turn. Could be, you know, they could play a Prismari Dragon, but now we just have 9 power in play, you know, so not that bad. And then we have Stroke for Goldspan, Dispute for whatever, drew a melee as well, so tap land, pretty good for us. Cinderclasm to kill the 1/1, which is fine. We have 8 power in play, and now we untap with 8 power in play, 4 counter spells, and a Redcap Melee, and pretty happy here. So,
like great analysis of your matchup. We played here, Jim.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. Thanks for the sub, and thanks for hey, it's Spook new sub. Watching anywhere from. Thanks so much. So, basically, this was the plan we had going into our post sideboard games. You know, hardcast Vadrock. Now a 2-mana up here. We have a Redcap Melee, but I'd rather just use one of my disputes here, I think. Use Dispute, see what they do. They're going to unsubstantiate to bounce the Vadrock back to their hand. So this is totally fine. So they're unsummoning their spell, basically turning their unsubstantiate into a Vadrock. Totally cool. Because now we're attacking for 8, putting them to 4. And we have, again, counterspell, removal spell. So feeling pretty good. What's up, Lord Draken? Happy to have you back, Lord Draken. How's the kiddo doing? How's Lady Draken and Baby Draken? The whole Draken family. So yeah, at this point, I don't really think there's a possible way out for Hog Pog here. I mean, again, that miss lined up was pretty tough. So now a Vadrock with 3 mana up, not gonna cast Dispute. I guess we could have cast Dispute, then like meleeed it if they paid for it. But either way, we can just melee here. We have Dispute and Stroke. Yeah, so definitely pretty fortunate that game that Hog Pog missed that 3rd land drop. Doesn't feel like a great matchup because the things that she's doing are much more over the top than what we're doing, and can kind of just win out of nowhere, but we'll take it. You know, we'll take it. So that was round 3. We're going to skip ahead to my top 8 match here, because I wanted to get the interesting matches in. So top 8 match versus Mythic Michaela, and I am on the play because I was the number 2 seed coming out of a Swiss at 4-1, and Power Jack resub, thanks so much. And just jump right in. Again, don't know what I meant. Don't know what Mythic Michaela is playing going into the top 8. Was closed deck list, but we are on the play. So look at our hand. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Innkeeper, Bonecrusher, Lukka, Visionary. Pretty much an ideal hand. Mana's a little awkward with the passage, but play Triome on 1. And we see a Volatile Fjord. Volatile Fjord. Which means that she's playing Is It Dragons. So also feels like kind of rough matchup. They also a Goldspan Dragon deck with lots of removal spells. So we look at our hand, and our mana's pretty awkward with the passage. And I decide we're just going to play the Innkeeper and say go. So now, Innkeeper is likely to die here. There are a million removal spells in this Is a Dragon deck. There's one. But our goal is essentially to just try and get this Visionary down, get the Lukka down early. I don't think we're going to have a spot we can play Innkeeper for much value. So, kind of happy to just like get this Visionary down and keep things rolling. So, play Visionary, draw 4th land, which is pretty good. And now we're a little Lukka flooded. But Michaela plays a Fabled Passage. Now, with only 2 mana available, this has got to be Negate or Disdainful Stroke in the main deck to counter this Lukka. Not commonly played cards. Usually it's just mostly cancels. So Lukka's clear to go here. However, not really interested in minusing the Lukka because Frostbite, Stomp. There's a million cards that would kill the Visionary. But the good news is that Lukka is not just Polymorph. Lukka has other abilities on it as well. We get a Forest here. So we just cast Lukka, just jam here. Very unlikely it was a counterspell that matters, but we're just going to plus the Lukka and start drawing cards. Once Lukka's in play, 2 really good things happen. 1, we now have a piece of pressure that can't be killed by removal, and that we just keep drawing creatures. And 2, Michaela can't really ever tap out again, because if she ever taps out, I just minus the Lukka on a creature, get Koma, and then we're good to go. So, great spot here. We plus it, we draw a Borrower and an Innkeeper, which is phenomenal. And I suppose the worst case here would be a Brazen Borrower bouncing the Lukka, which is we'll sink a little bit, but we actually see a Magma Opus. Pretty interesting. This means that a Goldspan Dragon could come down here, which I was not really prepared for, but it still couldn't kill the Lukka anyway. And then we'd have the ability to minus Lukka on Visionary with Dispute backup as well. So very, very good spot to be in. We see no 4th land from Michaela. So now Michaela's got a grip full of hands. So it's got 6 spells and a Bonecrusher off to the side. But now we're just in perfect grind mode because with her stumbling a little bit, now we can just start play Bonecrusher Giant, play Edgewall Innkeeper, play Brazen Borrower, and just keep playing things over and over and over and over again. So start playing Innkeeper, and then taps to manage, hardcast Bonecrusher and draw a card. Grip full of hands, grip full of spells. Whatever, you know what I mean? Don't make fun of me, Twitch chat. So here's Bonecrusher. Handful of grips, grip full of hands. So hardcast saw it coming on the Bonecrusher, which is great for us. But now, shields are down. We can just fire up his Lukka and minus it. So the reality here is that, like, Michaela's got to do stuff. I'm sorry, shields are not down. There's a treasure also. You can't just sit back and let me keep playing things. Even if Bonecrusher's not particularly amazing here, it's something. So I decided I'm going to use this Dispute now. With the card draw engine already in play, and no mana to actually dispute a Goldspan Dragon, we're in a rush to do that. So I could have gone for the Lukka minus here, but it would die to a Frostbite. She's still has 5 spells in hand, so just plus, chill. Lukka on 7. Plenty of power in play. Here's a Prismari off the treasure. So again, kind of missing land drops a little bit. Another Volatile Fjord. We draw Koma, which is a little annoying, and shields are still not down. There's still a treasure available for Frostbite. So we're not super interested in minusing Lukka yet. And again, not a spot where I'm interested in minusing Lukka because I don't want to lose my board presence to a Frostbite. So we just keep jamming here. Honestly, let me just keep playing Bonecrusher Giant until we're blue in the face. Yeah, we can cast 2 Bonecrushers here, draw 2 cards, attack for 4, draw another land. We can just hard cast Koma next turn. So everything's really great for us here. We're just getting ahead. Play land, make sure I have enough mana for Lukka, which I do. Could attack with Visionary here and try and stomp the Prismari, but just decide to keep playing stuff, honestly. And we're also going to want to keep the Lukka available, while casting things to keep this mana tied up as well. Attack for 4. We can just play another Bonecrusher here, or we can leave up Brazen Borrower and Stomp. A lot of options here. A lot of options. Worst case scenario would be Goldspan Dragon coming down next turn, and then like, you know, a big swing happening. But we see a block on the Prismari, which makes me very happy because we're happy to trade here. And then we see a mana tap and Frostbite on the Innkeeper. So now this is just shields down. So don't really get this one aside from the fact that maybe Michaela just valued that treasure so much, because now we just get to Lukka. So not exactly sure what, I mean, I assume the thought process there was just simply, I need this treasure for next turn because I need my mana because I'm stuck on lands. But so now you just get to turn our Visionary into a Koma. And now because we have Koma in play, we just leave up Borrower so we don't lose to Goldspan Dragon, and we're just in pretty good shape. So going to game 3 here. I'm sorry, going to game 2. So pretty good because I think that game 1's pretty tough against this deck. So there's Goldspan Dragon, but not a lot going on. We can tap it with Koma, but we just bounce it. They can have a treasure, whatever. Yeah, it's just too far behind. So that was a game, us getting ahead and staying ahead. Pretty happy with most of my choices in that game. Obviously, pretty lucky that Michaela just missed a land drop or two for sure. So, what's up, Brick Skipper? If you're tuning in, this is my match review from yesterday's tournament. No spoilers to how I did. We already reviewed one match from the Swiss. Now reviewing my top 8 match against Mythic Michaela. Is it Dragons? We are currently up a game, and we're gonna board out a lot of stuff here. So again, this is a matchup where her top end is a lot better than my top end. You know, we put a Koma in play, she can still win, and she can counter Lukka really easily and stuff. So I guess I can't really, if you get Koma in play, we're in great shape, but it's very easy for her to counter Lukka or kill the creature if I try to Lukka. So board out all the Lukkas, all the Komas, all the Visionaries, and bring in all the interactions. So Redcap Melee for Dragons is so good. Bring in Negate, Estance, Mystical Dispute, and bring in the Klothys. It's not particularly great. I think it's just better than the mana creature is, that Lukka. Just like kind of a threat, needs to be answered. So want to play out the remaining games. I have so many arms, I'm like Goro. Want the games to play out similar to that game, where we kind of just get ahead, lean back a little bit on our interaction, and kind of just keep the ball rolling. Most important thing is it Dragons, is just do not fall behind. Similar to Rogues, honestly. Just don't fall behind. Once you're behind, you just can't win anymore. They counter a spell or two, and you're just dead. So, just another analysis Monday. Yes, my Monday will follow my analysis here. So, on the draw, and our hand is Dispute, Bonecrusher, Goldspan, Michaela mulligans instantly. And this hand's not great, but we're going to keep it. We have Bonecrusher, we have Goldspan Dragon, we have a Dispute. We're on the draw too, so draw Innkeeper. Now this time it's a little different than game 1, so we have plenty of mana. So we can afford to kind of just chill and try and get value out of this Innkeeper. I believe it's what we do. I believe we just play a blue source here and say go. Not as much you want to Dispute, but I guess Innkeeper. Okay, so kind of interesting. I mean, like, I think the big thing here is wanting to make sure we're just casting Bonecrusher on turn 3. So if you're sure you want to cast Bonecrusher on turn 3, then trying to hold Innkeeper for value is pretty tough. So this at least means that she can't foretell a card, can't play a Maze Mind Ohm or whatever if she's playing that. Just kind of like means like your turn 2 belongs to me. Just trade 1 for 1 with me. It was a Bonecrusher obviously, which isn't ideal, but so there's your Bonecrusher. We're gonna stomp. And now, not a great exchange for us, honestly, because now we are just trading Bonecrushers, and we didn't really get any value of ours. So maybe I should have held the Innkeeper, honestly. I'm not sure exactly. I decide I'm going to kill the Bonecrusher with Prophecy here and leave up Mystical Dispute to counter Prismari. Just smashing, draw Klothys. Still not sure about playing the Innkeeper on turn 1, honestly. So we see a Foretell here and a passive a turn. Now we get to play land, we play Bonecrusher, leave Dispute up. Definitely want to apply the most pressure possible with the worst possible spell, because we're probably going to get countered here. So it's probably just Bonecrusher. The problem here is, of course, the conundrum between Saw It Coming and the card draw spell, where if we play a spell, Saw It Coming is good. If we don't play a spell, then Cosmos is good. So, or whatever, not Cosmos, Multiverse. So we play Bonecrusher. We get Brazen Borrower, which is pretty interesting. We could dispute this and just like leave our Bonecrusher in play so we're on the board, and also like terminate this Brazen Borrower for later, which we do. Again, I think I value getting on the board really, really highly, especially if we're scared that the Foretell card is a counterspell. So we see Prismari here. We draw an Innkeeper, which is obviously awkward, and attack with the Bonecrusher Giant. And because we don't want to play Goldspan Dragon into a counterspell, and we were assuming that this Foretell card is a counterspell. So Klothys is a pretty good bait spell here, because frankly, it's not really that important. Goldspan Dragon is more important. So we draw it out, perfect, just what we're looking for. Play this. We're just gonna cast the Innkeeper here because we want to have all of our mana for next turn, and she's basically out of spells. She has one card left, so feeling pretty good here. She has Prismari, which can block my Bonecrusher. Does have a Faceless Haven as well. We have Innkeeper, and then also the most important thing we have Goldspan Dragon in our hand. So got the Landskeepers outside working on the retaining wall and stuff. So big tank here. It's a big spot. You know, 2 cards in hand. Tap 3 mana. And Michaela's going to fire up the Faceless Haven, looks like. So very, very aggressive play. And got to get in for 7 here. So we see get in for 7. Spoilers, Jerf. Or Jerufus. Then we see a Frostbite on the Innkeeper. And we see a Foretell. Now, this is a really easy spot to figure out what that Foretell card is, because there's just no way it's not Time Walk. Because if we look at how that turn played out, that was a very aggressive play. So opponent very, very happy to just tap all of their lands and all of their permanents and get in for 8 with 1 card left. What else could that card possibly be? You know, not afraid to get attacked here. You know, and if there's a counterspell there, you hold the counterspell up. Probably don't attack with the Faceless Haven. So I think this is very, very clearly an Alrund's Epiphany. And we draw land. So now we have some questions. So what do we want to do here? If we know it's Alrund's Epiphany and we attack with both the Bonecrusher and the Goldspan Dragon, we die. Because they get to attack for 3 with Prismari, and then attack for 9 on the following turn with the Haven, the Prismari, and the 2 tokens. So we need to decide how we're going to apply some amount of pressure without dying to the Time Walk. It's almost assuredly there. So tank for a bit, playing Goldspan, obviously. I decided to play with the Goldspan Dragon. I think this was wrong. My thought process here was leave back Bonecrusher, which can check the Faceless Haven. And I'm not going to die to just Prismari and a couple birds. So there's the Epiphany. We get to see Prismari come in for 3 for free. And again, if I had left back Goldspan Dragon, this wouldn't have happened. My fear was if I left back Goldspan Dragon, once they fire up the Haven, I can't block it with Goldspan Dragon, so I'm not happy with that. But I could have blocked Prismari twice with Goldspan Dragon. So I think I screwed up. Now we see the Faceless Haven get fired up. Now I can block with Bonecrusher. But now we're at a spot where I am taking 5, going to 3. And now what? You know, so now I have a Goldspan Dragon. I can't attack anymore anyway, which would have been not that hard to figure out. It's a pretty, like, what they did was just all face up, you know, so, and now we're just like, all right, well, we have Goldspan Dragon, I guess. You can't attack anymore. We're at 3. Just an awful spot to be in. Just for lack of foresight on my part. I think I got through this game away. I think if I had attacked with the Bonecrusher and left back the Goldspan Dragon, I probably would have won this game. So they play Smashing Tap, which is pretty weird, honestly. Which means it's probably another Time Walk, because why else would they play this card tapped? We draw another land, which stinks, obviously. And now we're just screwed, basically. We just can't beat a Time Walk. So we attack for 5. They chump block, stay alive. And now they just Time Walk, make 2 birds, attack with all the birds, and kill me. So I think I threw this game away. You know, I didn't think through like the next few turns well enough. And I was thinking too much about the not wanting to block the Haven with the Goldspan Dragon, but not thinking about how the Dragon prevented 6 damage on the Prismari. So we just die. I think I threw this game away. I think if I had attacked the other way, I would have been... I mean, I don't know if I would have won the game, but I would obviously have been much better off. We did draw land, so maybe we still would have lost, but definitely a mistake for sure. So we lose this game, go into game 3 on the play. Same sideboarding, not going to change much. Akroan War is a possibility, but it's just kind of clunky and only really good in certain scenarios. I mean, maybe it could have come in, honestly. Maybe it's like we steal a Bonecrusher, it's good enough. Or we steal a Prismari, it's good enough. And stealing Goldspan's obviously great. Maybe we wanted the Akroan War over the Klothys. And maybe like a Fire Prophecy. I wanted the Prophecy in because it can kill Brazen Borrowers and Bonecrushers. But so, I think I threw that one away. That's okay though. It's the whole point of these match analysis videos, to look back and figure out what we did wrong so we can do better next time. So, I decided to bring in a Visionary over Klothys, recognizing that Klothys isn't very good. It's more of a tempo game and like a slow grindy game. But I think I should have brought in the Akroan Wars, honestly. I think might have been better. So, going to game 3, run the play at least, which is very, very important in your Goldspan Dragon mirrors. And we open up a hand. Full house!
Somebody's playing a prank on me.
Gonna mulligan the full house. Mulligan into Innkeeper, Bonecrusher, Dispute, Borrower. Hand's fine, honestly. It's a little not great, you know, in that we have there's not a ton going on, but why no Koma? Koma's part of the main deck package with Lukka, but Koma's just really, really slow. It's bad against Brazen Borrower. It's just not good in this matchup, honestly. This is a tempo matchup, not a control matchup. So, don't play Innkeeper, leave Stomp up, fire up the instead of Stomp. Start getting just want to get the Bonecrushers going, you know. Just get things in play, get ahead on the board. Not interested in trying to wait for Innkeeper here. Just cast Bonecrusher. Only other option is play Innkeeper and Stomp. That just plays into their Stomp, so. Play Bonecrusher, say go. No kill spell on it, which is great for us, because again, all that matters is getting ahead. That's awesome, Elvish Warrior. Honestly, buying in bulk is great. You just have sleeves for the next 4 years or 3 years or whatever. Just never have to worry about it. It's great. Save a lot of money that way. BCWSupplies.com, promo code GYM10. Get your sleeves in bulk. Save a lot of money. Use promo code GYM10. And never buy sleeves at an event for $19. It's a waste of money. Frostbite kills the Bonecrusher, which sucks. But we don't draw a land, which also sucks. So now our options are not great. We can play Innkeeper and Stomp. We can just hardcast Bonecrusher, which feels kind of bad. Leaving Dispute up isn't great because the problem is that now we're falling behind. You can't afford to fall behind. So I decided to actually leave up Innkeeper. So this is me trying to dispute a Prismari. I could also Stomp and then hopefully instead draw. There's 2 cameras because we have an Igor cam as well. It's the Igor cam. It's not working right now, but awesome Infinity. That's great. So they play land number 4. And again, missing these land drops really, really hurts because this is a very tempo-oriented matchup. We need to have mana to play all of our spells and not fall behind. So at the moment, if Michaela gets ahead here, we're in big trouble. So not thrilled. Not thrilled. So we see a Haven and a... So we see Haven and Mountain Tap for Stomp on my Innkeeper. So we're just going to Stomp our own Innkeeper here. This effectively just stomps their Bonecrusher. So by killing our own creature, we fizzle the adventure. So they don't get... Their Bonecrusher goes to the graveyard, not to exile. And we're going to Stomp them anyway, so it just kind of kills that. They tap out completely. But the problem is that we just don't draw a land and can't punish them. So we just have to like play a Bonecrusher and say go. Now there's a card in Foretell. It can be a counterspell. If there's another land here, we're in trouble. Land Goldspan Dragon is game over. It's a tough spot to be in. Tough spot to be in. There's your red source, but no Goldspan, thankfully. We draw a land, so it's not a blue land. We can't get Borrower yet. We also can't play Petty Theft and Dispute, but Byron, Bonecrusher Giant. We have the Prophecy to kill the Haven if it tries to block. And we just say go here. End step, Stomp me. So this is fine. We can't stop it anyway. They are 12. You know, we are attacking, which is the important part. You know, we are technically ahead on the board right now, even though we're behind on mana. Here's Bonecrusher Giant. Now we get to Fire Prophecy to kill the Bonecrusher Giant. Now, the question is, we Fire Prophecy, are we going to bottom a card? And I think the card to bottom here is actually Goldspan Dragon. This game is going to end with the cards we already have available. I don't think we're ever resolving Goldspan Dragon. That Foretell card is probably a counterspell. So, we bottom Goldspan Dragon, just try and draw another threat we can cast right now with the mana up we have, and just keep pressuring. There are 12, just keep pushing, you know? So, bottom Goldspan, draw land, which is, you know, fine. It's a blue land for our borrower, which is kind of cool. Draw another land, which is obviously not ideal, but play a blue land, get in for 4. Michaela goes to 8, and now we have Borrower and Dispute up. There are 2 Faceless Havens, which can block the Bonecrusher, but now we can get Borrower going in the air. We see an iteration here, can't really counter this is fine. This iteration reveals a volatile Fjord. And again, all these land drops, we're now behind by 2 lands, which is tough. So hard cast Borrower here, not close. Can't cast Dispute, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Just got to keep applying pressure. We're behind by, you know, we're behind on multiple axes here, both cards in hand and mana. So we got to push the one axis we have access to, which is damage, just damage output. So get Borrower in play. They're at 6 off the stomp. Fire in the Borrower. Now we're looking pretty good. So Fire and Borrower, put them at 3. Bonecrusher was a phenomenal draw. So now we get to stomp them, dispute their counterspell, hard cast Bonecrusher, and now it's Mythic Michaela at 1 life with 2 creatures in play, which is a great place to be. So Coalesce, sure. Run the power. Run the jewels is also great. Run them jewels fast. Run them jewels fast. So Bonecrusher saw it coming. Mystical Dispute. And this was, again, a great draw on our part. Very, very lucky draw. And now we just jam Bonecrusher Giant. Decide what color we want off of our land. I think it's probably blue for future Brazen Borrower. So we can go Borrower and Borrower. And now we're all in. Chips in the middle. And opponents at 1. We have Bonecrusher and Borrower. 2 lethal threats in play. Michaela does have 2 Faceless Havens, so that can block Bonecrusher Giant, but Borrower right now looking for lethal. Looks like I did see it coming. So, big tank here, huge spot against this game 3 in top 8. Winner moves on, loser goes home. We draw Goldspan Dragon, which is honestly a phenomenal draw also, because now you get to apply pressure on multiple points. So now she has to deal with the Goldspan Dragon, kill the Borrower, and deal with the Bonecrusher Giant. So here's Goldspan Dragon. And we see a Disdainful Stroke, sure. Now we have to decide what we're going to attack with. So Borrower's lethal no matter what. Bonecrusher, however, can be blocked by the Haven. And this is where I screw up. So this is a terrible attack. Just an absolutely god-awful attack. There's absolutely no reason to attack with Bonecrusher Giant here at all. Because right now, the pressure is on Mythic Michaela to kill my Brazen Borrower or she dies. Pretty much every card that kills Borrower costs 1 or 2 mana. Now, the one card that would work here is Prismari Command. This play would work against this Prismari Command, but this play doesn't work against all the other removal spells, which are much more prevalent. There's 4 Frostbite, 4 Stomp, you know, maybe even some more removal spells here. So by attacking with both, we allow Michaela to fire up the Haven for free, block and trade the Bonecrusher Giant, and then if she has the removal spell that kills Borrower, now we've got nothing. But we could have just attacked with the Borrower and make her have it anyway. So this is just a terrible play. This is a really bad play. Because you want to leave Bonecrusher in play, because the opportunity cost for Michaela to have this Faceless Haven available at all times is 4 untapped lands every single turn. So she can never tap out for a dragon, never tap out for anything else. She has to leave all 4 lands up, and we can just not attack with Bonecrusher Giant. So just an absolutely horrible attack on my part. This only beats Prismari Command and gets rocked by so many other things. We attack, and she has to have it. But she does. So fire up the Haven. Again, free block on Bonecrusher. And then has the burn spell for Borrower. And now we have literally nothing against the hand of 2, against a hand of 1 card, drawing for turn, and a Haven, and more mana. So there's Cinderclasm. That was, you know, not one of the cards I was thinking of, but sure. And now it's just nothing. And we've already used 3 of our Bonecrusher Giants, so we're drawing to 1 Bonecrusher Giant as our way to, like, directly kill her. We have some dragons and stuff, too, but iteration's pretty good. And that's the thing. So this iteration would have been hard to cast because she can play iteration here, but it's hard to play anything else if Bonecrusher's still in play. So not very happy looking at it from, you know, thinking about it post, you know, it's hard because when you're playing in the actual tournament, you see the win, you want to win the game, you know, like it's right there. You want to go for it, just take it down, you know, and usually I'm a pretty patient player, but it's just a really bad mistake. So she casts iteration, she reveals a land, puts a card in hand, makes another land drop, has more cards in hand, has Faceless Haven available, and now she also has the ability, so she decides to not attack with the Faceless Haven, which is a little scary for us. It means that there's probably a counterspell waiting for us. Because why not attack with the Haven? We have no haste creatures in our deck. So now she's a counterspell too. We're like almost locked out of the game. And you can see with your Fire Prophecy.
Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god!
Would have been Lightning Helix, oh my god. But not actually. So now if we had waited this turn, we attack with our Bonecrusher Giant. She taps the 3 lands to fire up the Haven, and we Fire Prophecy it and win the game. So she would need to have a negate or a removal spell for Bonecrusher Giant, which again might have been a possible card to have in hand. You know, could have drawn off iteration, etc. So we might have still lost this game, but we also didn't know we were drawing Fire Prophecy. But again, so we draw Prophecy. Now you have to just say go, and based on how she played the last turn, it's pretty likely that I guess she can't just like, sure, she has to block Bonecrusher with the Haven, correct? But regardless, she has the mana to do that. So now she can just fire up Haven. Now we fire Prophecy here. A little surprising to see her counterspell this, but she clearly wants to just end the game. So now we're, you know, originally we were like kind of screwed on like if we played a spell, she has a counterspell anyway, but they just saw it coming. So now we're playing off the top again, unfortunately. Here comes Haven, getting for 4. We're on a 3-turn clock here. We draw land, stinks, but say go. Now, I think mild mistake here. I probably should have played the passage and shuffled, because I had a Bonecrusher at the bottom of my deck. Also, Brazen Borrower at the bottom of my deck. So, another iteration. So, like, really just kind of popping off here, making land drops, drawing spells. But we allowed this to happen, I think. So, I think we could have played around this. So, there's a Goldspan Dragon, and now we're just dead. I mean, draw a negate, and that's it. That's top 8. So, I think it's definitely not a great matchup, but I think that both of the games that I lost are winnable. And I think this is a really, really easy spot where you could easily be like, oh man, we drew 2 lands, we got unlucky, you know? But I think both those games were winnable. I think if I had played correctly in both of them, I probably would have won one of them. Obviously, you know, she has to like not have it and stuff too. So, still a fun tournament. Definitely really, really cool event. The deck was pretty good. We lost to this deck. You know, it doesn't feel like a great matchup for us, but so that's tournament. And won $100 for top 8, which is pretty sweet. First prize was 1,000. Would have preferred that, but Michaela played very well, and that's it. That's the tournament. So again, that was the DreamHack tournament. It was yesterday, and I also played in the Insight tournament on Saturday. And I don't even remember what happened, honestly. I think I went 3-2 and dropped, but yeah. So that was that tournament. That's my analysis of my two important matches. YouTube folks, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on this content, match reviews and stuff. Just want to win, you know? You always just want to win. Want to win really bad. So, YouTube folks, love you. Like, comment, subscribe. Mog Monday is coming up on my stream, folks. All right? Thanks, YouTube. Appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this kind of content because let me know your thoughts. All right? Love you, YouTube. Thank you.